So according to NFL Rums on Twitter, the rotating cast of Undisputed reportedly could include former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Irvin, and the show reportedly could include Lil Wayne, Richard Sherman, Rachel Nichols, and maybe also Keyshawn Johnson. So what Skip Bayless is doing is very smart. He is basically following the lead of his former co-host, Stephen A. Smith. When Skip left First Take on ESPN, it was Stephen A. and Max Kellerman, and they had really good ratings, right? But Stephen gave Max the boot. And then he created this whole cast of characters that he debated on a daily basis, and the ratings actually went up. So maybe Stephen made the right decision, even though him and Max were fine. So then we got Skip, right? It was Skip and Shannon. Shannon was a great co-host for Skip, but Shannon's had enough, and Shannon left. And Skip had a bad time trying to find a replacement for Shannon. And he probably saw what Stephen was doing and said, let me do the same thing. And to be honest, I think Skip will actually have a better show than Stephen. Because if you just look at the people he's debating, is Richard Sherman. He doesn't back down. Rachel doesn't back down. Him and Lil Wayne are fine. They're buddies, but they'll probably clash on a few things, but him and Wayne are fine. Michael Irvin just likes to yell, so that'll be interesting TV. And Keyshawn doesn't back down from anybody. So it's an interesting thing that Skip is actually saying, like, maybe I do need to change. I made a video about that, how Skip needs to change. And, it's easy to debate people that you can dominate. Like, I think for the most part, Stephen A., even though the cast of characters he has on First Take are fine, he usually kind of dominates them. Skip is going to have to work harder to debate these people. The thing about Richard Sherman that was interesting, because he was the first one that they said was going to be a co-host. His thing was they said that he was going to be hosting 50 to 100 shows. I said, oh, that's curious. But I think it's the dynamic of how media is today, where you just can't tie people to a specific show. Like Richard already had Thursday Night Football, and that's a good gig for him. And he probably didn't want to leave that show. In years past, they probably would have told Richard, well, you have to leave Thursday Night Football to become a host here. And for some people, they like doing what they did before. So I think with this, it's the same thing with Rachel. Like Rachel has a deal with Showtime when she's covering basketball and different things. So I think it's good that these folks can keep the gigs, their main gigs, and have this other gigs too. But that's part of the new media. Like the way that sports media and just traditional media are doing things, you gotta be open to different ideas. And locking someone in for over 300 days on a show might not be the best way to go. And when you have different people on Undisputed, you have different takes. The issue I will see is if Skip will broaden the topics, but will still be about LeBron and Golden State and Dallas Cowboys and just the same topics day after day after day. So we'll see if Skip might broaden the topics more. Even if he doesn't broaden the topics, you have so many different characters now that their takes will be totally different. So Skip Bayless, I salute you so far because I like the type of people that you are including on your show. But I will still implore to you, please broaden your topics, because the people who do watch Undisputed, I think they like what you're doing so far when it comes to co-hosts, but they will not stick around if you talk about the same things over and over and over again.